Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the Cardano ecosystem. We're going to look at how its fundamental design is sparking a whole new wave of innovation. We'll touch on everything from how projects are creating real-world value to how they're making sure user privacy is a top priority. It's really a story about solving old crypto problems with some fresh thinking.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to kick things off with a foundational advantage Cardano has, especially in how it handles staking. From there, we'll explore how projects are generating actual, tangible yield. Then, we'll see how they're funding growth in new ways, building the next wave of DeFi apps. And finally, we'll wrap up with why privacy is such a big deal.
You know, to really get what makes development on Cardano so interesting, we first have to talk about a major challenge on another huge blockchain, Ethereum. And believe it or not, it all comes down to staking.
Okay, check this out. The difference here is like night and day. With Cardano, your funds never actually leave your wallet. You keep control. You're just delegating your staking power. But on Ethereum, you either have to lock up a whopping 32 ETH, or you have to trust a third-party pool. And here's the kicker. Your funds can get slashed, basically taken away, if that validator you're trusting makes a mistake.
And this isn't just some theoretical what-if scenario. This really happened. Not long ago, 39 different validators lost over $50,000 worth of ETH just because of a simple operational error. Now imagine you had your money pooled with them. That's a direct hit to your wallet, and it shows a real risk baked into the system. So here's the most important takeaway. Cardano's design, from day one, was built to avoid the exact problems that things like liquid staking on Ethereum were created to fix. For the average person, there are no lockups, there's no risk of slashing, it's just inherently safer and way more accessible right from the get-go. Alright, so that fundamental security is like the foundation of the house. Now let's talk about the next layer, generating real value. We're talking about projects that are all about creating sustainable income, not just hype around a token price. And a fantastic example of this is the Titans project. They are literally turning blockchain investments into physical working assets. You can see right here, they're bringing dozens of these super powerful S21 Bitcoin miners online. The goal? To push the APR, that's the annual return, for their token holders to around 20%. This is yield from a real-world business operation. And they're not just stopping there. I mean, look at this roadmap. It lays out a clear plan for growth. They're talking about boosting rewards, adding special miners just to create buy pressure for their token, and seriously scaling up their physical mining facility. They're even looking ahead to 2026 for the next generation of hardware. This is what a long-term vision for revenue looks like. Okay, so you've got this secure foundation, and you have an engine chugging away generating real yield, so what's the next big hurdle? Funding new projects, right? How do you raise money without just selling tokens and hoping for the best? Let's see how some projects are tackling this head-on. This quote from Banker Labs it nails a huge problem for developers. Every time a new project wants to do something basic, like distribute rewards to their users, they have to build that system from scratch. It's expensive, it takes a ton of time, and it slows down the whole ecosystem because everyone is solving the same problem again and again. So what's their solution? It's simple, but it's brilliant. Stop reinventing the wheel. Banker Labs is building a set of open-source tools that any project on Cardano can just plug into for free. It lets them handle all their token distributions securely and super cheaply. It's all about letting builders focus on building, not on boring infrastructure. At the same time, you've got the Mallard order, and they're taking a totally different swing at fundraising. Forget the traditional models where the team gets a big cut. Instead, they're funneling the money they raise right back into making the ecosystem stronger through airdrops, investing in other cool Cardano projects, and providing liquidity. It's a real community-first approach. So, we've got a strong foundation, we've got these cool new funding models, but what about the apps that you and I actually use? Let's take a look at the DeFi platforms being built on top of all this incredible groundwork. And we're seeing some serious traction. The lending platform, Fluid Tokens, just smashed a huge milestone. They've crossed nearly 1 million ADA in what's called total value locked. That's a huge sign of trust. It means people are actively putting their assets onto the platform and using it.
And they are absolutely not slowing down. Just look at what's next on their list. They're making things easier for users with stuff like one-click loan refinancing, but they're also adding brand new value, like staking that pays out rewards in Bitcoin. This is exactly how you keep the momentum going.
Now, looking a little further out, Strike Finance is teasing version 2 of their platform. And honestly, this is a huge deal. They're building a permissionless perpetuals market. So what on earth does that mean?
It means literally anyone can spin up a market for trading pretty much any asset as long as there's a price feed for it. This just blows the doors wide open for financial innovation.
But as an ecosystem grows, and as more and more money is moving around, another need becomes absolutely critical: protecting the user. So what about our fundamental right to financial privacy?
I mean, seriously, it's a question we should all be asking ourselves. On a public blockchain, whether it's Cardano, Bitcoin, whatever, every single transaction is out there for the world to see on a public ledger. Sure, your name isn't attached, but your wallet address is. And with a little bit of detective work, those transactions can absolutely be traced.
And that's exactly where a tool called a crypto mixer comes in. Its one and only job is to break those traceable links. You send your funds in, it mixes them all up with funds from a bunch of other people, and then sends them out to new addresses. It makes it practically impossible to connect the dots between where the money came from and where it went.
Now, Carnado, a mixer built on Cardano, is taking this concept even further. They're not just a service, they're building a whole community-owned protocol around it. Check this out. A full half of all their profits are used to buy back and burn their own token, which helps the value, and another 40% is paid out directly to people holding the token. It's pretty amazing.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the secure foundation, the engines for real-world yield, the community-first funding, and this deep focus on user privacy, it leaves you with one big final question. When you build an entire ecosystem to solve these fundamental problems from the very beginning, what new things become possible? That's really the question the Cardano ecosystem is trying to answer right now.